Hi, hello everybody. I'm Rebecca and this is Coffee with a Cop. We're gonna get to know some officers and it's gonna be really fun. So, I think our first question is a very obvious and important question. Since this is Coffee with a Cop, how do you each take your coffee?
Sheriff, I'll let you go.
Oh, this is going to be good. Yeah, I don't drink coffee. How does that sound?
That's good meeting you here. I've got a mug of water right here.
Sorry.
I'll take mine with 1 cream and 1 sugar.
Very good.
But I'll join you anyway.
Awesome. Okay, so here's a good one. Why did you decide to be a cop? Did you always want to be one? What else did you want to be when you were younger?
You know what? Really, since I was a little kid, this is all I wanted to do was be a police officer. So it was my dream job, and I've been doing this for 27 years now, and I love it. My job has changed over the years, obviously, but I've always loved it. It's a great career. It's not a job, and we have a great community here in Niagara County.
Oh, that's amazing! Wow. What about you, Captain Richards?
Much like the sheriff said, I think the idea, when we were little growing up, you saw police officers and you just thought it was a cool job that you looked up to them and could help people. It's something different every day, and you get into the job and you find out it is exactly what you hoped it would be.
Oh, that's amazing. So a big thing that SAD stands for is traffic safety, especially with new teen drivers. So do you have any tips that you would give to someone who's just starting to learn how to drive?
Sure, I'll take that. I don't know if Sheriff, if you wanted to say anything or not. He's
Go
having some
ahead.
technical
Go ahead.
difficulties.
I'm having technical difficulties here. Go ahead.
I would say is, do a little homework, read your manual for the book and understand the rules of the road, and pay attention when you're in the car with probably your parents or, a caregiver or somebody that's, I say responsible of age to teach you how to drive, and see the precautions. I mean, inherently younger people are more apt to take a risk, whether it's, coming up to an intersection, turning out, thinking that they have enough time to enter the intersection or turn or whatnot. They're more willing to take a risk. That's why you see, adults kind of drive a little bit slower, and not willing to take the chances. So I would say just, kind of mirror what other people are doing, that, and learning from and observing and paying attention to the rules of the road.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have anything to add, Sheriff? I don't know if you can.
Yes, as long as you can hear me. I don't know, there's a little delay or something, but
You're good.
don't succumb to peer pressure. That's not just in driving, but in so many fronts. But so many times you see kids doing things in cars that they normally wouldn't do if they didn't have their friends going, oh, let's do past these cars or drive fast or whatever. So be your own person, serve you good your whole life.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Thank you. Oh, so I know a lot of people look up to law enforcement officers as their heroes and role models, but who are your heroes? Who are your role models?
I would have said Captain Richards, but since he's on the call, I won't say that. Role models for me, people that give me my shot in law enforcement, I have a lot of role models, but those guys that were in leadership positions when I started all police department that hired me, the chief at the Parks Police that hired my dream job here. So they were huge role models in how my career went.
That's amazing.
I was going to say the sheriff, but, like I said, be, too much, right? Like the sheriff said, to people that have given you, an opportunity, that believe in you to do good things and entrust you with some responsibility. Just a generalized term, I guess, for the responsibilities. Really, it's role models of anybody who continues as, my wife always says, be a person of excellence. It's somebody that always does the right thing and tries to be the best that they can be in everything that they do, and they display that to others. So there's quite a few role models that anybody could to model after.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. um, Ooh, what is your favorite TV show? This isn't related to law enforcement, but I'm very interested to hear your answers.
Actually, mine is related to law enforcement. It's Blue Bloods.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out.
Friday nights at 10 o'clock. It's great. Tom Selleck stars in it. It's a great show.
Wow. Okay.
I have a 4-year-old, so I don't know if cartoons actually count or not. I mean, Blue's pretty good right now, but um, I don't know if I have a particular show. I mean, there's a lot of movies and a lot of things on Netflix, but um, I'll get a laugh out of the sheriff when I say Cobra Kai right now on Netflix.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, do you have any favorite vacation spots, or like what do you do on your time off?
Okay, here we go. I might as well just leave this thing unmuted. Um, I like vacations anytime I go near the water. So we have a cottage in Canada that we like to go to. And then I found a new favorite vacation spot this summer because we couldn't go to Canada. So we went to the Adirondack.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing. What about you, Captain?
I would have to say Myrtle Beach. We go every year, but unfortunately with COVID, we weren't able to make it down there this year. So, like the sheriff said, anywhere near there's water and a beach, I'm there. So I'd say Myrtle Beach.
I've never been there, but I hear it's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I missed your Adirondack answer, Sheriff.
I think he said Fourth Lake
Oh, okay.
up in the Adirondacks.
Fourth Lake.
So this question could be taken a lot of different ways, but just I want to know what's the coolest part of your job, and then also what's the hardest part of your job, because I feel like there must be both.
You want me to go first, Cap? Okay. I love community events. That's probably the highlight of my job is going out and, we do shop with a cop with the kids. We do a ton of the birthday parades during COVID for the kids that were having birthdays. We're really, really involved with the community. We did a Building Bridges program this summer with some of our inner city youth, and we got to really just hang out with the kids and do a lot of fun stuff. Probably the hardest part of the job for me is making sure that I take care of the 340 people that work here. It's probably the most difficult part.
So I think the best part of the job is it's something different every day. You can't always believe what you see in the national media. Everybody in we have a very good community. We have a great county. We work with great people and we work for great people. So you can't let that, the national media and the things that you see in the media dictate how you formulate your own opinion on such things. So we're very lucky in Niagara County to have great support from our community, our sheriff, his administrative staff, and right down to the deputies that work at the office. The second part of that was the most difficult part of the job is probably getting an up close look at people in general. Everybody has some sort of an issue that they deal with. We don't always see people at their finest, but we try to find the good in every opportunity and every situation that we encounter. But it's sad at the same token that you leave every day feeling lucky for what you have, and the family that brought you up and all the things that go along with it. And I think that really helps us be better police officers to try to convey what we have and what we know, to shed that little light on somebody else's situations.
Wow, that's wonderful. I never even thought of that you see people in that state. Wow. Um, so what should someone do, especially a teenager, when they are stopped by an officer?
Honestly, just listen and follow directions. If they're being stopped, they're being stopped for a reason. Somebody used to always say is if the police officer stopped you, you should probably, be expecting like a ticket or expect something. But a lot of times we use it as an educational tool. So as long as they listen for directions and and we have a good dialogue back and forth, there's really never an issue. But it is just, I would say, just listen.
Yes, very good advice. um, ooh, I would like to know what songs that you guys listen to when you're driving around in the squad car.
Oh, you're killing me. I I take a lot of abuse around here. You can see the captain laughing already. I 70s soft rock bread from the 70s, and these guys love to harass me about it. But I listen to heavy metal, not into some of the new music a lot, you know.
I like that. What about you, Captain?
So the sheriff is not wrong. Every time we're in the car with him or we're out somewhere, the joke is always, "Is this bread? Is this bread?" I would say classic rock.
Any particular songs or bands?
No, just in general. Anything other than the radio in the car, police radio.
I love it. Oh, do you guys have any favorite sports teams?
I suppose I should say the Buffalo Bills, but I'm a little embarrassed. But we'll go with the Buffalo Bills.
I'll go with the Bills. We have to go with the Bills. I'd say my golf game, but that's funny in and of itself.
Hmm. What is the biggest issue that you see teen drivers having?
Texting and talking on their phones. It's not just teens, unfortunately, it's a lot of drivers, and it's amazing when you drive behind somebody, you can tell they're texting because they're driving like they're drunk. And I don't think people quite realize how bad it is.
I would have to agree. Honestly, there's too many distractions. It's social media, it's this, it's that, it's texting, it's phone calls, it's, we live in a different world than we did even 5-10 years ago.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
platforms and everything else, and everybody has to stay connected. So the distraction is not good. I would say that's the main one.
Yeah. I guess on that note, what is your favorite social media platform? Kind of going against everything, but do either of you use
Favorite social media? I'm old. So I use Facebook.
I don't know. I mean, I have a few. I have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But Twitter I use for the new. I use one for different things. I mean, I'm trying to get down to none because it
Yeah.
just consumes your time and whatnot. But I would say Facebook first. For just different things. It's nice to be able to use these platforms for the right reasons, right? Like connecting with family out of town and keeping in touch with things that are going on in their lives. And Twitter for the news. So I would say I use those two the most.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Um, hmm. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I want to pick the really good ones. Um, oh, I do want to know, what was your
Can I
first?
ask you a question?
Oh, sure.
What drove you to be involved with SAD? Why are you involved? I think it's awesome, but I'm just curious.
No, yeah. I really love SAD because I think it's great to be able to empower my peers I feel like I've always been the kind of goody two shoes kind of person, and but sad like makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference with stuff, and I'm not just being like that one kid, if you know what I mean. um, and also I struggled with my mental health a little bit when I was in middle school, and it was like outreach groups like SAD that got me back on my feet and like made me feel better. And it's really empowering to be able to make that same kind of difference to other people too, whatever they're struggling with, like if it's, you know, substance abuse or traffic safety or mental health or anything like that. I don't know, it's really rewarding. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you. We need more people like you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I'll end off with one last question. I don't want to take too much of your time, but do you have any career advice for somebody that wants to go into law enforcement?
Yes. I tell young people, get involved. If your police departments have an Explorer program, take as many civil service exams as you can take. So here in Niagara County, we have multiple police departments, the sheriff's office. Your real dream job opens up, go to that police agency. If it's, I think everybody's dream job is to work at the sheriff's office here. So, eventually they get here, but keep your record clean too.
That's good advice. What about you, Captain? Do you have any advice?
I would echo that the sheriff's office is probably the best place to work. However, I did things a little bit different. I originally wanted to be a school teacher. So I diversified a little bit. My friend was again, I said I wouldn't want to be a police officer. So I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. One of my friends started the police academy, got hired, did a little ride along with him. And it was about 10 minutes into this ride along, I'm like, I got to do it. So I kind of switched gears. I still did my coursework in education and did the academy and got hired to civil service tests. I took a lot of civil service tests. But I also wanted to diversify in the event that I needed a backup plan. So you don't need to take criminal justice to be a police officer. You can be educated in other fields. So that would be my advice is do what you really want to do with your education, and there's still an opportunity for law enforcement. And it's funny, as we're talking about, we're doing a big recruitment for our corrections exam coming up. Our applications are due the end of October, but the test is in December. One of the things that we sit and talk about for recruitment was getting the message out that I'm using corrections as the example because it's the test that we have coming up. But even police, a lot of people start in a different career and end up in a career in law enforcement, not realizing that all of a sudden they have that aha moment, like, this is the best job I've ever had. I never would have thought that I would have excelled in this, or thought I would have a better, rewarding job in that field. But we hear that a lot, we see a lot, and we have a lot of diverse, educated people that work at the sheriff's office. So don't sell yourself short of thinking, well, I really don't want to do it. You can never say no. You can always have an opportunity.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Thank you so much. I guess before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me or for Lauren?
Do you want to be a police officer?
I have really no idea what I want to be. And I'm a high school senior, so I kind of have to figure things out soon. But I guess, like you were saying, I can find my way along the way. So I really don't know, but maybe it would be cool.
You'd love Niagara County. We're right on the Canadian border. We have a lot of nice water around us here, and it's beautiful. So I'm always recruiting.
Rebecca, one thing for you is, as Lauren knows, I'm the chairman for Stop DUI New York, the association side, and you can get my contact information from Lauren, and anytime that we can help you, our organization help you, and vice versa, I'm very certain that you could help us with all the things that you're doing And quite frankly, we need more people like you, as the sheriff said, in these positions, because you are really the type of person that can help us make the decisions and guide policy and legislation that has an effect, you know, not only on yourself, but, you know, on younger people as well, and teens. So you can grab my contact information from Lauren. We correspond quite a bit, and be happy to create that outreach that, you know, maybe bring you in a little bit with some stop DWI stuff, because traffic safety and stop DWI really go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Sure.
Helping
Thank
with
you.
our messaging. How do we, you know, like picking your brain about messaging? We always say when we go on and do different presentations, it's like we as police officers talk to or blue in the face to people about, hey, you shouldn't drink and drive, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But what do we need to say to the younger generation or teenagers that would make it that much more impactful? Because you know from being in that position, and Lauren knows, that it really unfortunately takes a tragedy that hits somebody close to home to have a very rude awakening that makes you think about it. So it'd be nice to touch base with you at some other time and collaborate with you or anybody else on how you can help our messaging.
Sure, absolutely. We really, really, really appreciate your partnership, and I would love to help in any way I can. Thank you so much.
We're more than happy to make our students available to you guys. So the new SLC that they'll be working on will be doing a lot of statewide efforts and working with STOP, and you guys out in Niagara would be phenomenal. So yes, I'm agreeing for them.
Okay, I think that's all that I have on my little list. But thank you so, so much for sitting down with us. It was great to get to know you better. We really appreciate your partnership, and I'm looking forward to more things in the future.
And a big thank you too from all of New York SAD. We definitely want to highlight our partnerships across the state and make sure that we're making law enforcement less scary, approachable, and so that other folks can get to know you the way that we do with SAD. You know, we have great partnerships, we have great communication, and we know that, you know, the sheriff's office, law enforcement, they're not scary. They really are here for us to make sure that our communities are safer. So thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you for talking with us. Rebecca, when we disconnect, check out Bread, the band Bread. You're gonna love it. It's very relaxing. De-stress you. So, thank you. It was great meeting both of you.
You too.
You as well. Secret
Thank
Bread
you.
fan. It's okay.
Okay.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.